I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of Discover New Music. Very excited today. My guest, her name is Amanda Lyberg, but you may know her better as Eva Marie, a.k.a. the Eva from Eva Under Fire. Eva, how are you? Do you prefer Amanda? Do you prefer Eva? What works best for you?
You know what, Rock, we're clearing the slate this time. I'm going by my given name, Amanda, because that's what we wrote my own name about. It's on the new album. It's a whole thing, right? So Eva was a crown that the audience gave me, and I love them for it. But that was actually a song reference. So this is me. I'm Amanda.
I love it. Well, that's what a cool little peek into that. So it's kind of like when Prince changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. Yeah? Is that close?
Yeah, I don't know if it's that big of a story, but sure. I like that.
We'll take it. Well, Amanda, thank you for joining us, and thank you for talking new music. The brand new album, Villainous, officially out. It dropped on July 10th, which, and I've had a couple interviews recently where I get to talk to the artists after the album drops, which is, I think, wildly different for you guys because, you know, you're living with it by yourselves, you're producing it, you're working on this, you're working on that. Now that it's out in the world, how's it been seeing the fans' reaction, hearing it outside, maybe on the radio, playing it live, and actually being in it out in the world?
Yeah, it's so rewarding. Yeah. I think you're right. The thing that is so kind of nebulous before it comes out that you've believed in for this entire time, and, you know, artists know, and I'm sure fans know too, that it takes a long time to write an album. So, you know, we hang on to it, and it's this close to us for so long. And then when we put it out into the universe, seeing this reaction has been so invigorating, so encouraging. I mean, I love being able to just like, here's the album, let's go play big shows too, because then you see like on a big stage, the audience's response, right? And so people that they don't even know who we are, and they're like, oh, this band jams. Let's go, you know? So, because it's a little heavier, and I think that feels more authentically us.
Yeah, I love it. Well, so happy to have it out in the world. Your second record, which you're pros now, right? At this point, you know, 2 under the belt and ready to go. Did it feel a little different? I mean, was there more confidence going into this one, it being your second record and you know, kind of doing that dance before?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, because our trajectory, and it's funny, people have said like, that's kind of strange that you would go heavier on your second album, right? Mm-hmm. That's usually not the trajectory, is like bands go lighter or more commercial or whatever.
Right.
But, you know, for us, it was something where we felt like on the first time, you know, Love, Drugs, and Misery, we were listening to a lot of people tell us how the industry works, right? So we were influenced, I think, by that, and it kind of like paved that direction. But for this one, we were like, nah, we're taking the gloves off. This is what we want to do. And we really, I think, stepped into our own a lot on this record. I think there's a lot more maturity on this record.
I love it. And yeah, you know, when you're first getting into it, you're excited, you get signed, you're like, all right, here we go. And then you want to kind of toe the line, because you're like, well, we've never been here before, at least at this capacity. But being able now to make those choices, stand up for yourself, and not that you didn't before, but, you know, just knowing like, this is what we want, this is what we're doing, and then you can push that forward.
Yeah, I think it was like a 20% dial-in shift toward this direction, right? It was more of like a, you know, us, we were definitely maintained authenticity on album 1, but I think there were things that I was, specifically themes, lyrically, that I was very nervous to approach, because I think a lot of people, when they meet us, when they meet me, people in my real life, right, they see me as this person who's very positive, very upbeat, and I love that. But I have also been through some things, and that side of me was, I think, more difficult to write about. And so on this album, I was really excited to really lean into that, to dive into that. And I think that grit is something that a lot of people have been responding super well to, and because they feel it, you know what I mean? Like they can relate differently when you're able to do that as an artist.
Well, and we're going to actually talk about that grit, because there's a track on there that has been recently released, third track, the title track, and we'll touch on that. 3 years since your last record. And we talked about that, Love, Drugs, and Misery. Talk about maybe getting back into that creative space. I know you guys are always in a creative space, but it's maybe a little bit, you're more creative on the touring side, or the getting back into that creative space of making a new record and getting ready to put pen to paper, music to recording, and all of that.
Yeah, sure. We got a little cocky. We always are writing. And
Right.
we were like, oh, we got enough ideas. We got starting points for so many different new things. I bet you will have a record in 6 months. And it took 2 years. We were like, that went differently than we thought. But, now that we're on the other side of it, and like I said, we're so encouraged seeing all of, the response for this album. I can look at it and really say, you know what, I'm so glad that we did take the time that we did. I don't think that we would have, got the same body of work if we hadn't taken that time. And I also think it was cool because they kept sending us back to these different rooms, right? This producer, this producer, this producer. And I think something that I find personally fulfilling and rewarding that I'm proud of is that listening to this album, you wouldn't know that we worked in like 5 or 6 different studios.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to the band's maturity, the band's writing, the fact that we were able to still stay in the driver's seat and create something that feels sonically very, very much like it all makes sense.
Right.
Right. And I think that speaks to our us growing in our writing process. So that was important to me.
And you brought up actually a question I want to ask, because you did work with multiple producers on this, and a wide range of sounds. I mean, guys like Grant McFarland, who's worked with Everclear, which I think would be a much different direction than where you guys are at, or Carson Slovak, who has like Polaris, August Burns Red, to name a few. So you got to dip your toe in with these different producers. But like you said, though, still keep exactly what you were going without getting maybe too muddying the waters too much, if you will.
Yeah. BJ and John were the guys that did the first album with us. We wrote with those guys, our hometown homies. And then we went off and we did, stuff in Pennsylvania with Grant Carson. We were out in LA with John London, and those songs, 2 of them that were the very early songs were The Words You Say and My Own Name. And that kind of, I think, was the first step in curating the direction for the album.
Right.
Those 2 were the first ones that came across. So I think it was just everybody had their own like special sauce, and we wanted to see what that could do for our vision. Yeah. And I think it went together just, better than we could even expect.
Love it. And that's all you can ask for, because you start worrying like, all right, we got too many cooks in the kitchen, but apparently all these cooks are wonderful. And you made quite the, like you said, their own secret sauce in each track and what you guys had. Let's talk about, and you mentioned this, kind of the grittiness of this album and you being more open and being able to put yourself out there. One of the tracks, title track, Villainous, is a good example of that. You got to work with Maria Brink on this, which I know as not even just an artist, but also especially a female artist. She is such a role model for so many female singers out there. Talk about working with her, how that got set up, and just what that meant for you having her on this record and on this track.
Yeah. She's a powerhouse, right? So like that was something that we had our sights on for a while, because we know that we shared some people in the background that like some of our team also works with her. So we were like, maybe we could manifest this, right? So we needed to wait for the right moment, which was very difficult to do, right? But we found one. Yep. And I think that, there is no better vocal or feature for the track Villainous. Yeah. When we knew that was going to be the single, I absolutely had to ask about Maria, because she is so beautifully threatening. Her tone, you know what I mean? Like, she is fierce in a way that just like she steps onto the scene and says nothing, and everyone just goes silent, right? Like, but it's her presence alone that is so, but I love, and that to say, I think that was so powerful having her in the music video as well, because I think she brought that presence, right? And then it was kind of like my own little personal Star Wars, right? Because I'm like, I am her Dark Knight and she is my Empress, and this is amazing, right? But like I remember when the first time that we heard her vocal on that track, we were all together in this RV on a different tour, and we were out with Butcher Babies at the time. And we played it together, and we all just collectively, the jaws hit the floor. And we were like, this is everything that we could want in a feature. So shout out Maria. She ended up messaging me afterwards and saying, you know, like she loved the track and thanks for having me. And yeah, she was such a sweetheart. So love her.
And what a feature on there. And for me, I would compare it to like, if I was working with, let's just say, Howard Stern or just a Wolfman Jack, someone I look up to and is very good at what they do, did you ever get a point where you're like, well, I can't compete? Like, what am I doing? Just let her sing, guys. I'm sure it pushed you, but also was there a little bit of like, nervousness in doing that and laying down vocals together?
It's funny that you say that because, yes, my brain had these two different tracks, right? One of them was, okay, I am Villainous. This is my track. This is my lane. I'm doing my thing. I think that's what helped us in the studio kind of keep on pace, because we were very much into like, nope, this is our direction, right? We could shut it down. But then you bring a presence like Maria Brink on the track. You go, I'm just shaking my boots a little bit, you know, like, I don't know if I could keep up with that.
Right,
like what?
Right.
Did we just outkick our coverage? I don't know.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But I do think that it challenged my vocal though, right? Because like, I'm not always going to have her when we do this song live.
Right.
So I think it did inspire different confidence. I had to step up, you know what I mean? To be able to train my vocal to do certain things and, you know, really come confidently with that. I wanted to do her part honor on the track when we do it live. And I've been proud of myself for doing that. So thanks, Maria, for inadvertently shoving me out of my comfort zone, babe.
Yes, there you go. And that's what we need. And well, you guys knocked it out of the park. And every time you listen to the track, you can hear that. And it's such a cool mix. And you guys complement each other so well in the band all together. I did also want to point out something that I thought was really cool that coincided with Villainous. And it was in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month in May. To go along with the video, you guys had a donate button that I thought was super cool with the release of Villainous, and people could donate to the To Write Love on Her Arms group. And I thought that was super cool. Tell us why that was, what it is, and why it was really important for you guys to do that and have that in there.
I know, you know, many rock artists are writing from the heart. They've been through things. They are writing from a mental health perspective. There's a lot of experience within this genre, right? Which is, I think that's why I feel so at home here personally, right? But I also studied psychology. So I think that adds an extra layer, right? But this album specifically was like me, my own journal, right? Just kind of put to song. And I think that we definitely always want to have a mental health arm when we're talking about why it's important for people to fight for themselves, stand up for themselves. You know, the whole villainous theme, it's not about being a villain at all. It's about being called a villain, right? Being able to show up and accept that you might be the villain in someone else's story and call that their problem, not yours, right? Like if you can look in the mirror at the end of the day and be proud of who you are and what you said, that's it, right? So I wanted people to understand, because I've talked with people at the rock show, clients of mine, family and friends who have this pressure that they have to offload, right? So like it was important for us to Write Love on Our Arms, an organization that is helping people who otherwise don't have the financial backing to receive mental health care to fight their demons, right? And that's what we were doing in the Villainous music video, you know, so I'm like, this makes too much sense. Right. And I know that there's been a lot of other artists who are wonderful and on our same label who have worked with them before. So it's like a proven organization, a track record that we're very familiar with and very confident in. And so I was really glad to be able to tie that to our brand.
And I just think it's so cool that you guys do that and using your platform to support things like that and something that we don't talk about nearly enough. And I think it was really great, and I wanted to shine a light on that. So go check that out again. It's To Write Love on Her Arms if you want to find out more. Just look that up there, and just awesome that you guys did that. I like to ask this question to everybody, and I used to say, hey, what's your favorite song on the record? And I always got like, that's hard to pick. So I've reworded it, maybe make it a little easier. So I want you to imagine you're in a field for some reason and an alien comes down, okay? And the alien has time to listen to one song on the record. You just happen to have a Discman, anti-skip on, of course, with the new record in there. You got to play him a song. What song are you playing for that alien before he's got to go back up?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a thinker.
That visual.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Don't Say I'm Okay.
Don't Say I'm Okay. And why would you do that one for this alien?
There is such I think for an alien species not ever having maybe been exposed to humans, right? There's this juxtaposition in our brain of like, and that, I think that song represents like, it's got a real dancey beat, but it's also, the theme is very dark, right? So I'm like, here you go. Here's your little 3-minute example of humanity. If you want to dance about it while you're here, we can. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just, and it has that dynamic, right? That both sort of sides come into play there.
I love it.
So
hit play, let them rock out. I love it. Great pick. Well, I'm so excited for you guys. Congratulations. Villainous is out now. Before I let you go, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, let's do rapid fire. I got some new ones, I think, since the last time we chatted a few years ago. So we'll see if I can get a new side of you. So let's start simple, or maybe not simple. Riff first or lyric first?
Lyric first.
Do you prefer the whistle solo in Winds of Change by the Scorpions or Patience by Guns N' Roses?
Patience.
Very nice.
By Guns N' Roses.
Take on Me or Take Me Home Tonight?
Take Me Home Tonight.
Very nice. Choco Taco or Flintstone Push Pop?
Choco Taco.
You can't. That's really. I should just say Choco Taco.
And Mexican food shape. Come on.
What else do you need in life? Billy Corgan or Billy Idol?
Billy Idol.
Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness.
Side note, have you heard maybe what scientists think it might be? I always like to bring this up if someone says Loch Ness.
No, what is it?
So apparently, just a little backstory. Apparently, some whales, male whales, will, when they breach water, they will have their penis out. And if you look at the photo of, which I have, just for research purposes, it kind of does.
Water dong.
So they think possibly it's an old grainy photo of a whale penis. Just maybe. We're not 100% sure, but
if so, that is the most famous dong of all time.
Ever. Get out of here, Ron Jeremy.
Mystery. Yeah. We don't need what?
Yeah.
Porn star what?
No. Grainy black and white photo of a whale penis. Last one. Would you rather fight, and I know you're a lover, not a fighter, but you got to defend yourself, 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
100 duck-sized horses.
That's what you're taking on.
I'm short. I can't, but the big foot guy is gonna just step on me, and I would smush.
All right, so you're just gonna handle all the little ones.
I gotta ping them. Yeah, I gotta like kick my way to freedom here.
Love it. Thank you for humoring me. More importantly, Amanda, thank you for talking new music. Eva Under Fire, Villainous, it's out now, and so excited for you guys, and just really, really proud of you and this latest work that you put together.
Much love. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you, friend.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.